I've come to talk about life cycle thinking. Mainly I come from a corporate background, so I don't know if anybody here is in industry or is a sustainability professional, but that's the background I'm coming from. I've worked with multinationals, mostly electronics, pharmaceuticals, and that sort of thing. And I got involved with life cycle assessment about 5 or 6 years ago to look at sustainability beyond the four walls of the organisation. So looking beyond energy management and really how the product can be designed for lower environmental impacts throughout the supply chain. So just just to go through a little bit of environmental folklore and just to make a point of how sometimes your intuition can't be absolutely correct. I realise there's not very many people here, so just a quick show of hands. Which of these three products do you think has the highest environmental impact? Who's going to go for the flimsy plastic bag? Yeah, it's like over half of you. The bag for life, thicker plastic. And the paper bag, anybody going to go for the paper bag? One for the paper bag, well done. So the flimsy plastic bag is a CO2 emissions of 3 grams. Bag for life, 10 grams. And the paper bag is actually 12 grams. Now, that's just the CO2 emissions of producing this product. Importantly, and when you think about the full life cycle of a product, it's important to realise that a flimsy plastic bag will be probably used twice, maybe 3 times, once on the way into the house, once on the way back out of the house. The bag for life is used, it depends, but it's used a lot more often. But essentially, because it takes 3 times the amount of CO2 to produce that bag, it's got more materials involved. You should really be using it at a very minimum 3 times the amount of 3 times as many uses as a flimsy plastic bag in order to catch up. And then the paper bag, a recycled paper bag is the worst. Also from the point of view that it's only ever used once. As soon as it gets wet, it's gone, it's finished. And most of us don't keep a paper bag. So the point being, you need to take it all into account, the full life cycle. So another dilemma, every time you go to the toilet. Quick show of hands for which is the worst, the hand dryer. Anybody going to go for the hand dryer? 1. Paper towel, 1 use only. And the Dyson Airblade, I know I'm using a branded product here, but they were the first ones to come out with this product. So anybody going to go with that as the worst offender? No, and you're absolutely right. So the hand dryer is the worst, 20 grams, and that's per use. So that's every time somebody uses it. A paper towel is about 10 grams, so it's only half as bad, but it's still pretty bad. And then the Dyson Airblade tends not to warm up the air, tends to be used a lot faster, and it also circumvents anybody's issues around the hygiene, which is usually what the hand dryer gets the blame for. So people who go for the paper towel over the hand dryer do it for hygiene reasons. The Dyson is the first product to circumvent that. Very quickly, don't worry, I won't spend too much time, I'll get into the meat of the presentation. A veggie burger versus a steak burger. Who's going to go for veggie burger? You think it's worse? The question is how bad, how much worse is a steak burger? And steak has a bad name because there's a lot of water, a lot of methane emitted in the production, in the rearing of animals. It's actually only 2.5 times as bad. Now, if you were to go for a meatless diet, you could reduce your environmental impact by quite a bit, but not as much as you may think. Reducing your meat is a very, very big step forward in that regard. And just in case there's any vegans among us, we're going around with a little environmental halo over their heads. A quick show of hands, who thinks that the apple is the worst? No one's getting involved now in case they get it wrong. I'll just go through them. So an apple is anywhere between 0 to 150 grams. That depends on whether you grow the apple yourself or you buy an imported apple from the supermarket. A banana is about 80 grams per banana. They're generally shipped. So they're not air freighted. So despite the fact that they come from the other side of the planet, they're not actually as bad as an air shipped apple. And one of the worst, even though our oranges here in Ireland come from Spain mostly, anywhere between 90 grams and 1 kilo per orange for an air-shipped orange, and they do tend to be air-shipped quite a bit. The point I'm making with this slide is it depends. It is not just based on the product itself, but it depends how it got there, how it was made, and the total supply chain. So I'm going to introduce you to the concept of life cycle thinking. I'm going to fly through the whys because I think a lot of people have different reasons why they're getting involved in life cycle assessment, or whether organizations are getting involved. And then the how is probably more interesting. So life cycle assessment, or life cycle thinking. Essentially, you're starting off with your product. I'm going to take a mobile phone as an example because everybody has one. Starting off with the raw material extraction, manufacturing phase, supply chain phase, the use of the product, and the eventual disposal or end of life of the product. The most important place to start is with the functional unit. So I've taken the case of a mobile phone because it's a complex product in terms of the components going into it, but also in terms of its use case. So you may say the functional unit of a mobile phone is to make phone calls. However, if you're in Samsung or in Apple, it's a very competitive industry. It's not just a phone that makes calls. It has to take photos, it has to send emails, it has to look good, it has to have a long battery life, and so on and so forth. So getting to the root of your use case is one of the most important first steps. Because if your product doesn't do it, I've gone back and forth, what does it do? If it doesn't do it well, it won't be competitive, therefore you don't have a product, you don't have a market, and we can all go home. So what lifecycle assessment then does is once you've got your use case or you've got your functional unit, you look at all the important materials, components, batteries, so on and so forth that go into making that product what you need it to be. And in terms of the life cycle assessment results, you're looking at all of the inputs from the environment, energy, water, oil, metals, etc., etc., etc. There are a great many. And all of the outputs that are emitted to the environment as a result of this product existing. But this is a fairly high-level introduction to life cycle assessment, by the way. So essentially what you get in your results is a better picture of where the environmental impacts are happening in the existence of your product. So for a mobile phone, it's nearly 50% in raw material extraction. A lot of that is down to water use in making the chips, the cobalt and the tin and the gold that go into making the chipset and the motherboard. So why? I mean, I come from a corporate background, so I suppose a lot of what I do, a lot of what I have done in the past is convert cost reduction products into sustainable metrics. So there's energy management. We've saved so much energy. Can we tell our customers that we've also saved so much CO2? That's a lot of the reason why organizations get involved in sustainability. Mitigating risks, when I'm not having a particularly optimistic day, I'll talk about the risks in your supply chain. How exposed are you to water shortages in China, for example? And I have a story about that, which I'll go into later. Between reducing costs and protecting your brand is a big one for a lot of food companies, for example. If you're seen as a sustainable company, say for example Unilever, you tend to get a reputation for overall quality. The two kind of go hand in hand. If Jim keeps a tight ship, you kind of expect him to do a good job in other areas. So it's about protecting your reputation. And then going beyond taking actual action is where life cycle assessment will really make a big difference. So reducing costs just very quickly. Life cycle thinking, as opposed to, say, for example, energy management, gives you an opportunity to not make isolated decisions, so decisions that may impact further down the chain. When you take that into account with life cycle costing, you get an overall cost of the product. So, for example, not taking costs from the manufacturer and moving it to the customer. And make overall better design decisions. Mitigating risks, especially in environmental legislation. So I told you about, I mentioned briefly a story about water shortages. I worked for an organization, electronics company, and they believed they had no water footprint, which is fine. They didn't have a water footprint, so to speak. They had a much bigger energy footprint. So they didn't see it as a risk. They didn't see that they needed to be getting involved in the water footprint agenda. However, they used, in almost all of their products, used a chip, which is heavily exposed to a water shortage. all our chips came from China. China has water shortages issues, and the government eventually started taking steps to restrict water use. Because if you're looking at within your own organisation, we're not buying water, it's not an issue for us. However, if there's a lot of water upstream in your supply chain, then perhaps it's a potential issue. And then also the other part of it is that it's quantified. So life cycle assessment gives you very detailed results. You can say with certainty that this presenter mouse uses, say, 3.5 tons of water in its production in its total life cycle. You can say that with certainty, so you can quantify your exposure to risk. Protecting your brand, I think I already mentioned that it's very obvious. And then going beyond your, so supply chain traceability kind of feeds into the example I gave about water footprint. So now the how. So life cycle assessment. So this is an example of a product I did a life cycle assessment on. It's a computer mouse, a fairly cheap one, and it had a total footprint of CO2 equivalent of 2.5 kgs. Raw materials represent 82% of the total environmental impact. Assembly and packaging, it was a cheap mouse, so they didn't spend too much time on packaging. It was shipped by sea, and it was a very small light product, a very small transport. Consumer use, this is basically down to replacing the battery one or two times, and then the end of life is pretty much non-existent. Oops, sorry. Another product in the same company's portfolio, 24 kilograms CO2, major difference in where the environmental impacts are happening. This is basically down to air shipping, and this is basically down to a longer lifespan. So you would say that it's more sustainable to produce a product that lasts for longer, and yes it is, but your span of where your environmental impacts are happening changes. Therefore, it becomes more important to focus on, for example, the energy use during the customer's use, the customer's habits, how they use the product. Are they overcharging the product, for example? Developed by BAST, and there's a guy talking on the main stage, I think, from BAST later on today. They developed what's known in the industry as eco-efficiency, and I personally, I come from a corporate background, obviously, but it's very important to focus on the value of the product that you are producing. That's what people pay for, that's what they're interested in. So if they want shiny cases and expensive packaging, and that's what differentiates your product, you need to find a way of producing that with the minimum environmental impact. So rather than looking at the product and making suggestions like swapping out ABS for HIPS, for example, which is a cheaper type of plastic or a more sustainable type of plastic, if that affects the look of the product, you're not going to get very far with that suggestion. So I tend to prioritize my projects based on how it impacts value and how it impacts the environmental impact overall. So what we're looking for is to improve this ratio. When you map your product portfolio, and I've worked for organizations that have many, many different products in their portfolio, so as opposed to like, we have one main product and there's like different flavors of the same product. My background is in medical devices and electronics, where you have many different types of products. You have turnover of products, right? So you introduce a flashy new product, you put a lot of marketing dollars behind it, everybody's really excited, the latest, greatest thing. That product will tend to have the latest technology in it. It may have a high environmental impact, but basically it'll also have a high revenue. So what I do is I categorize the product into where it lies on the revenue it's generating for the company against the environmental impact of that product. And what you find is that you'll have clustering of products, but basically what it does is it shows you where your opportunities are. So where you have a low revenue product with a high impact, that product basically needs to be shelved. It's started to slip off the end of your marketing campaigns. It's probably not the highest, flyest, fanciest product in your portfolio. So it's also using old technology, because technology is always looking for efficiency, and that tends to have a good impact on your sustainability as well. So usually those products are where your opportunities are. Either shelve the product, or go back to your design team and say, look, there's this, and this we can do with this product, and we'll bring it back up into the high-flying quadrant up there. You will, for obvious reasons, have a lot of products down here. These are your cheap end products. So these are your products that you sell to like big customers who buy it in bulk and so on. And you're not going to be able to do much with those products because they're bringing in revenue, but they're also really quick and easy to get out the door. So these is where your opportunities lie. And nearly all companies will have a mixture like this. So moving then to circular economy. So obviously it depends on your business model. I work for a company in my day job where they're involved in car batteries, and they have a very nice circular business model where something like 90% of car batteries are recycled, and that's a raw material for them. So if they can get their batteries back, they don't have to buy fresh lead and pay a much higher price for that. There are obviously logistical issues in getting your raw materials back. But this is just a story, and it's based on walkers, and it's a famous story which is used a lot in lean manufacturing, in the study of lean manufacturing as well. But essentially their business model was to buy potatoes, process the potatoes, and turn them into crisps. Now, in most organizations you get, everybody's doing their own thing. You've got sales doing their thing, procurement doing their thing, and so on and so forth. They were paying their farmers per weight. And they were hammering the farmers to get the price per weight down all the time. But a major component of the weight is water in a potato. They're then running big dehumidifiers and drying processes in their factory to get rid of all that water, which they've just paid for, and turn it into crisps. Am I running over time? Thank you. So essentially, by doing a life cycle assessment, they realised they're paying for water, they're paying to get rid of water, and they're producing their products. So they needed to change the business model. And actually, I'm pretty much done. This just illustrates, and if anybody wants to come up to me and ask me for the slide, all the waste happening along throughout your supply chain, which you can see when you do a life cycle assessment, and that's it.